All right. Yes, sir.
Good morning. Good
What's
morning. Good morning. Good morning.
up?
What's up? Ugh. Mean the flower action you got going on,
And the tita bun.
and the tita bun going on, full on, ready for Valentine's Day.
Raja.
Raja. Well, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How are you feeling?
Good, how are you today?
I'm good. I'm caffeinated. I'm rested, and I'm ready to go.
Well,
Uh,
happy Valentine's Day, everyone out there that's watching and listening. Today's topic will be all about love.
oh yes. How pretty. A great, easy topic. Very easy topic. Definitely different than what we were really planning, which
Uh,
is probably next week. But
yeah, but we'll talk about all the goods, the bads, and the life lessons we took from it.
yes. So I'm gonna hand the reins over to you for this one. I feel like you have a better grip of this topic. Not saying I don't, but your insight on it is definitely not, it's great. So I'm gonna let you take control of this one, and I will definitely chime in on some things because I have a lot to say as well.
Okay, well, actually, we're going to start with your love story.
Oh, okay, sure.
We're going to talk about, or tell the viewers about your goods, your bads, your life lessons, and how you're able to be in a marriage right now.
Right.
Just basically your back history on
Sure. For
the
sure.
thing, the heartbreaks, all of it.
Well, let's see. So obviously, right, when it comes to relationships, you have to go through uh, some ups and downs, and you've got to go through some loss and some heartbreak in order to build up yourself and build up confidence in yourself. Like you absolutely, some people are lucky, man. They will get into a relationship. Sometimes it's their first ever relationship and they're with that person forever. I know of a few people that have just dated their high school sweetheart and they're married to them now and they've got beautiful families and lives and all of that. But for me, I had a very interesting love life that led me to this point now. Um, growing up, I didn't have a lot of like um, intimate relationship with others. I was very secluded. I was the quiet kid. I stayed in my shell 24/7, and you know what I mean. I was very introverted from a very young age. I didn't like meeting people or going out and doing things like that. But in my first real serious relationship, I honestly can't even put a date, a year on that when that happened. It was so long ago. But I met this girl, and the day after my 18th birthday, I was living on Maui still, and literally the day after the 18th birthday, I left. I moved from Maui to go and live with this girl on the Big Island, which was, for many other reasons that are personal, you know what I mean? And so from a very, very young age, I don't know if you can even consider 18 young, but for me it's young because I feel like I'm old as hell now. But at 18, living with my girlfriend on a completely different island away from anybody else that I really know really, really led me to like see a lot of the flaws in me. Um, when I look back at my first serious relationship, I really can't help but like cringe a little because I look and I see the person that I was. And if I saw that person on the street nowadays, if I saw myself, I would probably punch that dude in the throat. Honestly, I, 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 I I tend to not look back on that part of my life because for me, it was such a really low point in my life. Like I really didn't have an identity because I want to say like all from my childhood up into that point where I left, I was really just trying to just go through the motions and like still find an identity of like who I really was. What is love? How do I didn't even know myself or how to love myself really at all. And that really showed through my first relationship. And I when I look back at it, I was really kind of just like, for lack of a better explanation, it's like a really shitty person. And it really came through, it showed in my relationship. And, obviously, like, I didn't know at that time what like true love was. Maybe I was just with this person just because, oh, that's just my girlfriend, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, we're supposed to be together, we're in a relationship. But did I really love her, or did I just really feel empowered in myself because like, oh yeah, I got a girl and she loves me and I live with her now. Like I had no idea what the hell I was doing or who I was at the time. And honestly, it's like one of those things where I wish I could just delete from my memory and delete from my history. But as time went on, I really look back at that as a moment of growth, like a few years of growth, because had I not gone through that experience, had I not experienced myself in a way that really just turns me off and just like, when I when I think about it, it really upsets me because it's like I can't believe I used to be that guy, or I can't believe I used to like speak this way or talk this way or treat other people that way. So in an experience, it was such a learning experience, and I'm actually very grateful I went through that relationship. And in a way, she really helped me to grow and heal. And because of that relationship, when I moved back to Maui, I went through a really, really dark time, but I really went through an extremely productive soul searching like year. And I was really able to solidify myself and find myself through that. And in my last relationship before meeting my wife, I was living on Maui, and the same thing, I moved here to Oahu. Now this relationship was a lot more like, I guess you would say like normal. It was just more of just like a regular boyfriend girlfriend relationship. The same thing, I lived with her here, and there was so many things that we both taught each other, in a lot of ways. Like, it definitely could have ended on a better note, but I really have no ill thoughts or ill thoughts at all with this person, because she and I really taught ourselves each other a lot of great things about self-love, really, and wanting the best for the other person, even if that means the best thing for each other is letting each other go and go your separate ways so that you guys can be the best version of yourselves without feeling you're holding each other back. That was really kind of what led to our separation before. And although I don't really believe in like keeping in touch with your exes or anything like that, right? And so I haven't spoken to this person in years and years and years, but I'm very thankful for the time that we had together, because again, like many experiences in life, especially if you're sharing that experience with somebody else, it should be a learning experience. And absolutely led to the person that I am today. And when it comes to my wife, nobody really knows like how we met. Well, we were co-workers, right? And we met at work, and I'm just gonna leave it at that, because obviously it didn't start off conventional at all. And my number one rule, honestly, was like, I'm never, ever, ever gonna date a coworker. Like, hell no, I'm not gonna do that. And then I ended up marrying my coworker, right? So, but the thing that led me to want to propose to my wife. And one of the things that really made me know for sure in my heart that this is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. This is the thing that made me realize she loves me. Um, she really went above and beyond in a lot of the things that she did for me. Even when we weren't even like dating. We were just seeing each other like casually. But even in that time period, she really went out of her way to want to spend time with me and want to talk to me and want to learn more about me. And
Mm-hmm.
a lot of that stuff was just so touching to me because nobody has ever really wanted to learn who I was on a personal level like that before. Not even in like my past relationships. Like they knew who I was, but they didn't really know what I was about or what I wanted to be or what I was even capable of. From the very beginning, my wife always knew what I could be and always knew of the person that I wanted to be, and she's always wanted to get me to that level. She's always wanted to elevate me higher and make me a better person without changing me. And that's so important. She she never wanted me to change. She's always wanted me to just be myself and make me feel comfortable around her enough to be myself. And I don't ever think you should change per se for anybody else. Um, Obviously there are bad habits here and there that you can improve on and get better, but you never should change who you are as a person for the validation of somebody else, even if it's your significant other. Either they love you for who you are, or they don't. And my wife has always loved me for who I was, and it was just a lot of the little things that she would do and a lot of the little things that she would say that just really touched me. And I just knew she loved me in my worst moments, and she loves me in my best moments, and or she loves me even more in my best moments. And ah ah it's just I'm extremely thankful for her because she has just done so much for me as a person. She has helped me grow so much as a person. And when you really just get that connection with somebody else and you really understand them and you get them and they get you, it's just like. And so it was just like a no-brainer for me. It's like I have to propose to this woman. I need this woman to be in my life because it's not honestly it's not gonna get any better than that. In the moments where I honestly felt like I was just like a speck of dust compared to some of the other people that she's been with in life, especially just the kind of person that she is to me. I've always I always have this little bit of doubt in the back of my head, like I don't even think I'm good enough for her because like she's such a freaking just like spectacle of a person, and I'm just like, you know what I mean? It's just like, but when I realized like, dude, she loves me no matter what I have, or no matter what I don't have. I was just like, dude, that's it. That's just it. And when I proposed to her, I have the video of it somewhere. I'm not too sure if I have it on my Instagram or not. And I felt like it was a pretty good proposal. I feel like I did a good job. But at that moment, it was just clear to me that it's not going to get any better than that for me. And like all marriages or relationships in general, there's ups and downs. There's things that both of you should improve on, or it's not always going to be perfect, but it's about finding the compromise and being able to meet in the middle and have a better understanding of what the do's and don'ts, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, I don't even know what else to say. I'm blessed. I'm very, very blessed that um, Tara is my wife, and I really honestly wouldn't want it any other way. And God forbid anything were to happen between the both of us, I would still love her presence in my life You know what I mean? Like I honestly, like I said, I don't really believe in keeping a close relationship with any kind of ex-partner, but with Tara, I feel like she's, you know, she is a part of me, right? She's got a part of me. And I would still want her around. Just for the connection, the heart to heart connection. Right? Forget all the intimacy and all of that. It's just being able to have that heart to heart connection with another human being is so powerful to me. And yeah, that's my story when it comes to love. Like I honestly don't plan on doing anything else with anybody else, because this is just like, for me, this is like top tier, and I don't think it's gonna get any better than that.
Oh, look at you, all emotional and shoot.
Yeah, yeah,
I feel that love. That
yeah,
when you like, you know when it's love when you can your presence and energy can feel that, and other people can feel that. You know what I mean?
hmm
It's undeniable. And you can see that with even like friendships. You know when you genuinely love your best friend, you know? Like some people's, you know, relationships are just that strong, that bright, that vibrational.
hmm
It expands. And for me, my journey is super duper rough. And I've basically been abused on every single level. I've been taken advantage of sexually. Um, I've been physically abused, mentally abused, emotionally abused, verbally abused.
Huh.
Everything I've experienced within a relationship in a short amount of years. And I've dated from younger than me to older than me and then same age, you know? So you end up learning way faster than you expect to, you
Right,
know?
right.
Um, Sometimes you're not mentally prepared for the situations that you get yourself into, you know? And it's so rough when it's like that chase. Everybody loves that chase. Everybody loves the honeymoon stage, but your relationship isn't just defined in that moment, in those moments, to me. It's what you do with it after the honeymoon stage is over, after the chase is done, after you got the girl or got the guy that you wanted, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Got the consistency after that. And my relationship journey really did start from my freshman year of dating older and getting taken advantage of then, you know? And then
hmm
experience relationships of on and off, breakups, makeups, you know, with the same person over consecutive years, you know, of if not knowing when to let go somebody toxic,
Yeah. Hey, hey. Yeah.
up to being in your first committed relationship, right? A lot of people say that you end up having three loves, right? The one that's your puppy love, your lust love, the love that you think is love, but really it's not. It's whatever the goo goo gagas, right? Like the
Yeah.
moment.
Right.
Then you have the love that teaches you the most hardest lessons of your life. The one that you really genuinely thought you loved, or you could have possibly loved and loved with all your heart, and that's the person that breaks your heart the hardest.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
you have your unconditional love. After going through all the bullshit of understanding it's not lust and it's not bullshit, it's that unconditional love. And I think that's where people need to strive and reach for in their marriage, if they seek marriage, that they find a companion that can give you that unconditional love, like you described, how Tyra just loves you for you, whether you got stuff or you don't got stuff. Whatever you
Yeah.
can offer the table and it's face value, that's true love. When somebody can take you as you is and not what they want you to be.
Right.
And for my second one, the one that probably did the worst damage to me was being physically, mentally, and emotionally abused. And this relationship was right before Kavehi. And I knew I grew as a person and I matured the moment that I could forgive this relationship and say thank you to it. Just like you on
100%. Yeah.
your two previous relationships that you described. The moment that you can say thank you for what you have done for me, and I forgive you, and I love you from a distance, because let's be honest, it's either you love somebody or you never did. You're always going to have some type of love for you, and whether that love shifts to just I love you for the love, the life lessons you gave me and the growth, period. That's still, at least you're leaving that on a note of love, right? You don't want to leave on a note of hatred. You don't want to leave
Yeah.
a relationship like that on a sour note, because that's what ends up making you continue to hold that grudge. Not
Oh, yeah,
against,
exactly.
but also towards yourself, right? Because you didn't forgive yourself for allowing that person to hurt you, basically. It's not about forgiving them, it's about forgiving yourself. And understanding, I needed to learn that. I needed to learn that so that I can love the next person better. And I can also love myself better. And I shared this tip a couple of days ago, is how are you going to know how somebody wants to date you, or if you don't even know how to date yourself? Like, you set the standard and the energy and your boundaries from self-love. You know what your body can take and what it can't take, and what it should take and what it shouldn't, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And in that abusive relationship that I was in, maybe 3.5 years of that. And it got me to the point where when I self-reflect, I told myself, if another man comes into my life and can bring me to that point of taking me out of character, because I know in my heart I'm not abusive. I'm not abusive with my words. I'm not abusive with my hands. I don't abuse people mentally, because I know what it feels like to have that upon me.
Yes.
If
Yes.
a person does that to me again, or can even take me to that point of no return, that is not love. And also, I had to soul search right before I found Kahaialiʻi, and I wasn't even looking for Kahaialiʻi. Kahaialiʻi kind of just dawned upon me, and it
Yeah.
was chance. And I think that's the best love stories, is when you're not even searching for it. And I think it's when God and universe tells you you're ready to love again. And I'm going to show you through this person that you have the capability of trusting and loving and feeling and wanting to embrace somebody.
100%. Yeah.
And
And just to add on to that, being ready to love again is huge. My wife, when I first started seeing her, she hadn't dated or seen anybody for like 4 years. A whole 4 years. Like, she had no interest in dating anybody or being with anybody in any kind of way at all. And she was extremely adamant about that. Very, very adamant about that. And I always ask her, I'm like, so here's little old me coming around. What about me made you break that belief that you have so strongly about? Like, what is it about me? And she's always said it's just the energy that you gave.
mm-hmm.
And it's about you first impressions, and seeing somebody and knowing somebody that has a grip on who they are and love themselves. It's really it's like you talk about all the time. It's energy exchange. You know what I mean? It's around you. Your energy really is around you, whether you feel it or you see it or not. It's always there, and other people can see that. Other people can feel that. And so, just adding on to your thing about being ready to love, and you not being able to love others unless you really love yourself. That was a big thing for me too. Is just like, you have to learn how to love yourself in order to love somebody else. Yeah.
People have to get comfortable with being alone.
Yeah.
They have to, because you cannot be codependent on your other half all the time. They cannot provide to complete you 100% of the time. Some days it's not a 50-50. Maybe it's an 80-20. Your partner needs a little bit more today. And then vice versa. Maybe the next day after that, you need that 80, and they, you know, and they, it's just what you are describing, compromise, you know. And even with arguments, there's still good and bad times in my relationship. It's a matter of understanding that we are arguing for a solution, not to argue, to continue to argue.
Right.
And if it wasn't for my abusive relationship to teach me that, I probably wouldn't have that communication skills with Kahaialiʻi. And this is the thing, this is how I knew I loved Kahaialiʻi unconditionally. It's because I told him, because he came in my life in a time period where I felt like I was still soul searching, and I wasn't really looking for anybody outside besides myself, was just simply when I told him, I don't go on dates. I don't like the word date because it puts too much pressure on me. I'm feeling like I have to impress you. And I'm tired of impressing. And the moment that he said, okay, we'll call it whatever you want to call it. And I'm like, we'll just hang out. That is one step that I knew that he was ready to go at my pace. And because we're still so young, you know, he was more on the party scene, especially because the whole music thing, you know, you just go out, drink at the bars and play music, whatever. I get it. But I knew I grew also from my last relationship because I stuck to my boundaries. I did not compromise when I said, look, if you're going to live with me, it's completely fine that you go out. But let's be respectful of one another's feelings. I will respect that you want guy time, you want me time, you want things that can pour your soul into and be happy and be surrounded by other people. But coming home at 5 o'clock is not acceptable for me. My boundaries, the worst 2 o'clock or whatever it is. Like, let's compromise where you're not staying out late hours where I'm up worrying about you, and especially you're drinking and then you're driving home like that. I cannot mentally handle that because I've already dealt with it with my previous relationship, and I over compromised and allowed him to over me and do whatever he felt like and acted as if he was single, you know. And my whole motto was, if I end up getting another guy that wants to continue to act single and not in a relationship where he's being respectful towards me, then he's not the one for me.
Yeah. Simple as that. Yeah.
Moment, I will never use the word submissive. The moment he compromised with me and understood where my feelings came from and why I'm expressing my boundaries that way and why I need it to be firm that he works with me, or else the relationship won't work, is because I cannot take that another draining mental experience. Once I end up having these red flags in my head, it takes me back to that dark place that I thought that I healed from. I don't want to continue to date people that I thought I was over dating. Then that tells me I didn't grow. If I continued to date and allow certain things to continue to happen to me after I was begging and crying to God and crying to the universe and praying with all my might, just get me out of this relationship and I promise I'll do better, or get me out of this situation and I promise I won't ever let another man do this to me. We have all these tries, but it's up to us to stick to the new boundaries that we want, you know?
100%. 100%. And I feel, oh man, it's crazy because I feel like even in this day and age, people jump around from relationship to relationship like it's just some kind of, like it's no big deal. When you get into a relationship with somebody and you have hold of their soul and their heart, it's not something that you fuck around with. Excuse my language, but it's just like it's not something that you mess around with at all. And if you are allowing yourself to continue to be abused, I guess in a way, verbally or mentally, physically, and you don't use that to better yourself or to empower yourself to be better in your next relationship or set your own boundaries going into your next relationship, or if you continue to be the abuser in any way, shape, or form, and you just continue that cycle over and over and over again, yeah, maybe you'll eventually find somebody that you're supposed to be with, but they're going to be just as toxic as you. and it's not going to be any helpful to any of the people around you or around that other person, it's not a game that you can just play with. When you're in a relationship, it really is a lot more complicated than just, oh, we go cruise, let's go eat. What you doing later on? I'm going to come over. It's so much more than that. You have a responsibility to take care of that other person's well-being and taking care of your own well-being so that you guys can reciprocate that energy and have that exchange with each other and just be like just solid. You know what I mean? I just feel like there's so many people that just kind of take it as a game, and it's disappointing. It really is disappointing, honestly. It's the younger ones.
People need to understand that they should be dating for marriage. They should be dating for something to progress. If you are just dating to date, what are you doing it for? You're wasting that time, that person's time, and not only that person's time, your time, you know?
Yep.
If you are content with just dating around and allowing yourself to be an autopilot, then you're not growing, you're not learning, you're not expanding yourself, you're not expanding that person. That person could be growing with somebody else, and that's what relationships is growing together, you know? And I knew Kahaialiʻi was the one for me too when I basically, in the beginning when we were talking, I told him, look, I'm not like the other girls that you've dated before. I've learned from a lot of my mistakes. I understand and I can accept and say I got baggage. And if you are not willing to, not meaning to hold my baggage, not to take the baggage away from me, I'm not expecting you to do that. That's my job, to heal my baggage.
Right. Just accept that you have it. Right.
Yes. But I need you to understand that when I have my weak moments, I just need you to have empathy. And I need you to understand, maybe I need space, maybe I need your help, maybe I need something from you that could make me feel better. And meaning, when I'm talking about my red flags, because red flags are basically baggages. It sets you back into a time and space in your head that you're like, fuck, didn't I do this before? Or like, just simply having insecurities. Everybody has them. There's no way around them. I still have them till this day. But to know if somebody can love you through those insecurities, that's pure love. That's pure intent, you know? Because they don't see you and blame you for having those insecurities. They want to understand, okay, well, why are you feeling that way? How can I help? Am I triggering it? And for him to want to understand where my thought process was going with all of it, made me knew he loved me for me and my soul. Because he came out of a very toxic relationship too, right before that. So it was just like, we were two souls trying to heal and love one another, but understanding that, and I tell this to him all the time, my goal in this relationship is to be two strong individuals, being a partnership, being two strong individuals, but also together, a strong unity.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I know because of his past relationships, that's why he had a hard time committing. And that's another thing. We have to be understanding that some people aren't so quick to retrust and commit and think further on beyond the relationship. But I told him my intentions. I said, look, if you're not thinking about marrying me in 3 to 5 years, I don't think this is going to work. No matter how much I love you, no matter how much we've grown together, if you cannot see a future with me, then I would rather see somebody that might want to have a future with me and grow. Maybe you were just my stepping stone in growing in love. And I don't mean that to hurt your feelings, but I just need you to step up in that matter. I'm not telling you let's get married tomorrow. I'm not telling you you have to propose to me. All I'm asking you is to really commit to is just saying you see a future with me.
Absolutely. And that's such a great mentality to have, because like I said, most people hop into relationships for no reason. And you said it yourself too, you need to date with, right here, it says dating in purpose. And you just need to have purpose in dating because, like you said, you are just wasting time. And you could be helping build somebody else up, and somebody else could be helping build you up. And having a great, solid, strong relationship. Like, the relationship that you and Kavehi have built. But so many people are just in it just for the novelty of saying they're in a relationship without any kind of long committed goals with each other. And you just, yeah, dating with Ronan, is Ronan all good? Oh, Ronan, man.
Anyways, but yeah, 100%. Like, there were so many signs that even if I need reassurance, God just showed me how compassionate he was with me, you know, and how careful and delicate he was with my baggage and my heart, you know. He did everything, and he still, till this day, this is how I know I made the right choice of marrying him, is that he, till this day, no matter after any argument, he finds a way to show me that he simply just loves me and that he is willing to continue to find a solution throughout any of our problems and not hold any animosity, anger, whatever. That he knows that when I say certain things, it comes out of love. And when he says certain things to me, it's all out of love and the betterment of us both being, again, my goal, two strong individuals together.
And that's huge. That's huge because that's definitely a huge sign of maturity in him. And that's something that, you know, I commend you for, because you also help him, like you said, grow and become a better person. And it's not looking for comfort in false relationships. Exactly. It's nothing like that. And he has grown and matured in so many ways that I honestly didn't think that he would, because that's my bro. I can say that about him. But he has become just an outstanding individual because of your relationship and the dynamic that the both of you have. So I just wanted to commend you guys for that.
Thanks. And especially just being a healer, the healer part of me, I understood that he also suffered from anxiety and depression, you know, and having
Yeah.
to learn how to, because I deal with it myself too. And I just wanted to be there for him and understand that it wasn't him necessarily that was making him trigger those negative emotions. It was the situation, environment, and people that he surrounded him with that constantly put him in that state. And that I was not the one that would put him in that state. If anything, I want to be the one that takes you out of that state and empower you to understand that you are 1,000% in control of your emotions, your thoughts, your manifestation, you know. And really, people should seek relationships that become a friendship too, you know. You have
Yes.
with people
Oh my God, yes.
when you like you said, for me, Kavehi has showed me intimacy without even physical touch. And it's possible, people. Like, it is so possible to feel love, feel the energy of love, and just simply looking at somebody's in their eyes, or just being in their presence, or just understand,
Preach, yes.
or just understand
Yes.
that like it's a security blanket of intimacy. Just having them there and they look at you, and even in that 30 seconds of that glance, you know that was love. They sent you love just from eyes, you know? You don't have to physically touch anybody to know if you have a connection. It shouldn't even be about that. If anything, that elevates your relationship, you know? It's a bonus. That should be the bonus. But
Right.
some people go into relationships with that angle where it has to be physical attraction. It has to be certain things. And it shouldn't. And even with kids now today too, like, I feel like they're misguided in what love is. And if we taught love at a young age, I feel like the world would be a better place.
Yeah.
You'd probably do a lot of things out of love, you know? You would be more sensitive around people's emotions because you wanna just share your love, share your concern, but make sure that they hear you and feel you and know that you're coming from a good place instead of hate. And you have to be you know, you're not coming off offensive and all of that. And that's even transpires in relationships. It's how we communicate with one another.
Yeah.
I can totally tell when he's not having a good day just from his energy. And I make it a point to make sure I do mentally check-ins with him, meaning, how is your mental? How are you doing? That's love. When you care about somebody's mental health or physical health or emotional health, check in. Your relationships, if that's a tip that I can give to anybody, is to always check in with your relationship. Because you do need to see where you are. Pinpoint, we're right here. I would like to be here. I feel a little bit disconnected. I feel like we jumped 20 steps back. I want to get to the space where we were centered, we were grounded, we were calm, we were happy, we were enjoying each other's company. Right now I feel this. I feel out of control. I feel angry. I feel whatever. If we don't check in regularly, that's how we end up having arguments that seems like it's like a Coke bottle ready to explode, you know?
Yeah.
Where it's multiple things when you could have been tackling the small things before it ended up being a big thing. And it's super duper important that we check in with one another and we continue to learn one another's habits because we're growing as individuals. We are not the same person you asked to be your girlfriend. We're not the same person you asked to be a fiance. We're not the same person that you agreed to be wives and husbands together. Like, we are constantly evolving, and that should
always
to be constantly changing, constantly thinking differently, constantly wanting to do something differently. And it's just about being on the same page and knowing that I still see eye to eye to you.
Mm-hmm.
And the essence of what you fell in love with shouldn't change. That's where I get what you say about it shouldn't change who you are, but that doesn't mean there isn't room for improvement. I
absolutely
100% agree with you when you say that.
Right. But when you're also in the process of making improvements with yourself, and love you too, bro. Love you, bro. Congratulations again. I'm so happy for you and your wife, bro. Congratulations, man. When you're in the process of improving oneself for the benefit of not just yourself, but your significant other, I had a really hard time, very hard time with that in the past, I want to say year. The self-love journey also, it's different when you're on your own and you're doing the self-love journey for yourself and getting yourself straight like that. But when you're in a relationship, especially in a very serious, committed relationship, a long-term relationship, finding the balance between self-love and your relationship can be difficult. Where that went wrong for me was I was kind of like, my health wasn't doing too great, and I was kind of on the bigger side, and it was really starting to weigh down on me, literally. And I went through this whole journey to get healthier and make myself better. But in the process of that, in the initial stages of the success with that journey, started to feel good, started to feel a little good about myself, you know what I mean? And where I had dropped the ball was I started riding a wave of just feeling like I was at the top of the world because I was knocking down these barriers and achieving these goals. And I was really starting to like look at myself in the mirror and it really starting to be happy with who I was becoming and what I was achieving and all of that. But then I started to realize that although I'm riding this wave of success and I'm accomplishing all of this and that, there's somebody else there. Somebody else is also there. And you're leaving them out of that. You're not including them in that journey, in that self-love journey, and they're feeling left out. Like they're not even a part of what you're doing. You're not even celebrating your success with that person. And then then it starts to feel like, oh, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna plan this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this, this, and this for me, for Jenesus. But what about your significant other? You know, you're gonna make these plans and set yourself up for certain things because you just want to keep riding that wave and you want to just keep going forward. But what about your other half? Like,
Right.
what do they have to, you know, where are they in the mix? And
Yeah.
that was where I dropped the ball, and I had to take a step back because that's something that was brought to my attention. And any good significant other would do that, would bring it to your attention, like, hey, I feel like I'm being forgotten. I feel like I'm being put on the back burner. I'm happy for you, but I also don't want you to forget about us
Mm-hmm.
because I stopped putting in my effort in the relationship because I was putting all my effort into myself. But what was difficult at first is because I've never accomplished that kind of level of self love before. I've never felt that before in my life, and it was like a drug. I wanted more and more and more and more, and then I'm just like, oh shit, fuck, my wife is also a thing. You know what I mean? So trying to find that balance between spending time for yourself and spending time with your significant other is hard at first, but it is possible. I think we've gotten to a point where I'm spending an equal amount of time for myself and an equal amount of time in my relationship so that it remains solid and keeping a strong foundation through it
Right.
all.
Right. And you don't want your self-love to then be labeled selfish, you know?
That's exactly what happened. That's exactly
But
what happened. Yeah.
that's why single people actually have that advantage where they can be selfish and have self-love before having to think about somebody and prepare themselves for a relationship that they're capable of loving themselves and having their partner on that side to root for you too.
Balancing your pie of life. Yeah.
But I think it's that's what I mean by checking in with your relationship. Had it been more of the habit first before you did your self-love drug thing and checking in,
Hmm.
I think your other half or Tara would feel like, okay, I understand what he's doing now. I'm gonna do it for myself, and I think that's where she kind of, uh, I guess, felt the left out part because maybe she was unsure if she could do it for herself. She didn't want to lose what you guys had. You know, it was unclear
Right.
what the objective was.
My
Was
my biggest fear was more towards the end of that phase was I don't want her to feel like she's not needed anymore because apparently I got it. I can do bad all on my own. And I
hmm
feel like that's where she got, and that's kind of at the point where she was just like, oh, he don't need me anymore. You know what I mean?
yes,
He's got this. He don't need me anymore. That's probably what he feels. And I can't blame her for that. I really can't because, like you said, self love can become selfish sometimes. And I am not too proud to admit that that's what happened. I got so involved with myself and so absorbed in my own success that I was just like feeling like I was at the top of the world. But she was feeling like, well, he he doesn't need me anymore,
right. No,
and I'm just gonna do my own thing, and he can do his own thing, and that's what it was, and it sucks that it got to that point, and I kicked myself in the ass for letting that happen, but that's like I said, with everything in a relationship, a real, genuine relationship and connection with your significant other, you can overcome things like that and you can
mm,
come back and you can make it work. You can fix things if you guys are willing to communicate and compromise and find solutions rather than just fight it out for no reason at all. You know what I mean? So and then that's just another thing that I'm extremely thankful for Tara, is
yeah,
she is willing to compromise and listen and understand situations in a whole and look at the bigger picture rather than just seeing it for exactly what she thinks it is.
but
And
you definitely needed that time, regardless
yeah,
of like I said, you sometimes you needed those toxic lovers before. You needed
yeah,
that time so that it could have made you a better lover. And what it made you a better lover is that moment when she served you humility, you know, humbled
oh,
you.
she served it to me on a hot steaming platter.
No, but the fact that you were receptive to it, that
Yes.
your relationship.
Yes.
Not your actions, not her actions, but the fact that you guys were able to still come together after that.
Yes.
The unity and the receptivity of the message, where she just simply told you, Jenesus, this doesn't seem right. I feel disconnected from you. I
Right.
don't know what's going on. You received it and said, oh shit, it kind of does come off like
Right.
that.
And it's really important to be able to do that rather than to say, no, you're wrong.
Yes.
What are you talking about? You're wrong. It's stupid. Don't say that. That's not. It's extremely important for guys and girls to literally be you have humility, be humble, and accept that you're not always the greatest person. You don't always make the best decisions. And when certain things are pointed out to you, they're not pointed out to you in hate or with any like disgust. Sometimes it's just like they're trying to get you to realize like, hey, that's not you. That's not who you are. You need to kind of dial it back and come back to reality. And that's really is. That's just another thing where I kind of lost sense of who I was. And that thing that was pointed out to me made me realize, holy shit, she's absolutely right. And you bring yourself back and you accept what's being given to you humbly, with humility, and
Right.
work it out.
But she must have good communication skills, because most cases relationships will hit you with the you changed. And that's how it ends up being the argument, right? Instead of saying, look, this is how it's making me feel. Totally different approach. Versus attacking you with you changed. You're not the same. What's wrong with you? You know, pointing the finger like it's you when it's not. It just, something feels funny. And if you truly love somebody, you're going to figure out why it felt funny and how do we get back to love. You know,
Yeah.
and that's the best thing that I'm glad you shared that. Thank you for being vulnerable.
Right, and that was the thing. That was the thing that was pointed out. That was also pointed out to me. She had mentioned something doesn't feel right. Something feels different, and I don't like it. And that, you know, combined with everything else that was pointed out to me, really, it kind of broke my heart. Not for myself, but for her, because yeah, like something is different, something is changing, and because it might have just been such a drastic impression on her, because going back to the very beginning, I didn't include her in any of it, so she didn't know what the hell was going on with me. I didn't express to her like, hey, I'm doing all of this shit for myself. Maybe you can do all of that. You can have all of that time for yourself too, but just take the time to educate your significant other that you are doing that for yourself, right? That you are working on yourself. You're not forgetting about them. You're not putting them on the back burner and leaving them to just be high and dry and fend for yourselves while I do my thing. You know what I mean? Just educate them and let them know, hey, this is what I'm doing for myself.
I need it.
It would be awesome if I need this for myself right now, but I also want you to be able to blank, 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 blank. You know what I mean? So it's just communication, man. It's so important. And because I didn't do that, here we are. And it's just like something's changing. Something's very different. And I don't know what's going on. I don't like it. And, you know, I don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
And yeah.
100%. It's just that communication. And I do that with Kaveh too. Even in arguments, it's okay to understand where you are in that transition of going from 0 to 100, to be like, look, give me 5 minutes to calm myself down so I can speak out of a place of love. And that's also another thing that I knew that I grew from my past situations, is when I stopped insulting him. When I stopped doing tit for tat and wanting to insult him for whatever arguments that we're going through. I used to do that fluently with my past relationships, of easily calling them a jackass, or you're an asshole, or you're this and you're that, you're stupid, you're inconsiderate,
that does nothing. That does nothing for anybody. Yeah.
I learned to flip that narrative and tell him, and I think that's what made him learn quicker, was the fact that I was like, dude, you're so smart. I really am confused on why we're in this situation right now. How do you feel when somebody's calling you smart? You know how to feel when somebody's calling you stupid, but how do you feel when somebody's calling you smart in a situation like that? Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, shit, I am smarter than this. I don't even know why I'm making this silly decision. Like, we shouldn't. Or I tell them, like, words of love, like, you're capable of doing this, this, and this. And then just say, where is it going wrong? Not where are you going wrong, where are we going wrong, where is it going wrong,
Yeah.
where's the situation going wrong? We need to stop pointing the finger at other people, especially in relationships of all sorts, even friendships, and come from a communication of love and wanting to fix it. And that's honestly the biggest shift in my life, is the fact that I ended up using powerful words of encouragement still in an argument to get my point across. I don't need to belittle anybody to tell them that they're wrong. They can figure out they're wrong by themselves. They're not stupid.
Yeah.
But you don't have to put salt in the wound while you're arguing, you know? It's already a cut. It's already existing.
They're already wounded. There's no need to beat them while they're down.
Well, we are definitely getting short on time.
We got 5 minutes. What are your tips, bro?
I had too many tips.
Give me like your top 3. Give me your top 3 that you can just like fire off.
Top 3. Self-love. Whether you're single or you're taken. You're never going to know your standards and your boundaries unless you discover it by yourself. Learn to be okay with being by yourself.
Hey.
Check in with your significant other, or any relationship for that matter. It can work for friendships too. Check in every so often. Don't assume that your relationship is great and fine and dandy all the time. Sometimes people don't know how to express themselves. And if that's that type of person, they're not going to tell you that you're hurting them. So just check in. Take the initiative. Be the bigger person. And 3 is never stop learning. Never ever stop learning, and never ever be narrow-minded enough to think that you know it all, because you don't. Constantly try to learn your situation, your partner, yourself, and always give yourself self-love at that matter. Right.
Awesome. Amazing tips. And another super awesome and informative session, man. These have been like I said last week, these are like some of the highlights of my week right there, is being able to just hop on here and just talk about things, man. Because for the people that watch and the people that really know me, I don't talk much. I'm not much of a talker. I'm a quiet dude. I don't like talking. I don't know what it is. I don't like talking, but when it comes to things that I'm like really passionate about, I just am more than happy to just have word vomit, man. just talk about stuff. So again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is an awesome, happy Valentine's Day. Next week topic is gonna be like my topic, and I'm gonna call it like the year 2020 in review. How about that? We're gonna go look back on the year 2020, and for what it was a devastating year for many. It was an extremely difficult and hard year for many. Yes, there were tons and tons and tons of losses and moments where a lot of people just felt really helpless. But in a lot of ways, it was an extremely educational year as well. Being able to take certain events and circumstances that have happened and being able to use those as a stepping stool to educate yourself and learn more and be better. It's gonna be a difficult topic for me. It's gonna be a heavy one, but that's why I'm glad Nikki will be here to help keep me centered, because I am very passionate about a lot of things that happened last year. But I want you guys to have a blessed Sunday. Have an amazing week. Go out, be motivational, inspire other people, tell your loved ones that you love them. It literally takes less than a minute to just text somebody and check in on them, tell them that you love them, man. And as always, it costs you little to nothing at all to just be a decent, loving human being. All right, you guys take care. Aloha.
Aloha.